The second part of today's lecture is starting with the exercise or the activity number 4, tape script 9.4, listening to Rob, an English person who lives and works in Paris. We have to complete these sentences with the comparative adjectives and let's listen to this tape script, and we'll discuss working with a partner to show or to make like these sentences. So let's start, please, and listen.
Tape script 9.4.
Well, I like both London and Paris, but they're very different cities. Take transport, for example. The metro is cheaper and easier to use than the underground. And the weather, well, Paris is certainly hotter than London. And Paris, in fact, is wetter than London. But in London there are more wet days. What about the buildings? Well, people say that the architecture in Paris is more beautiful, but the buildings in London are more interesting. And living in the two cities, well, life is faster in London. And the people, Londoners are generally more polite than Parisians. People in London work harder and they earn more. In Paris, having a good time is more important.
So, as you watched or listen to these sentences, we used the comparative adjectives that consist of that are derived from the adjectives that composed of one syllable. So the comparative adjectives ending with er, and we have in 4, 5, 6, 8 we have the adjectives, the comparative adjectives that are derived from the adjectives that are composed of 2 or more than one syllables. So we have to fill these blanks with comparative adjectives, and you have to work with a partner, with a colleague, and to ask him questions, to make a comparison between two cities, two countries, two things, two persons, and try to make like this exercise. And practice the following practice here. Comparing cities. Complete the conversation using the comparative form of the adjectives. So we have in the practice the adjective. We have to derive the comparative adjective from this adjective. So let's check the type of the adjectives in the practice: one syllable, 2 or more than one syllable, or irregular adjective. So let's check this exercise and listen to this tape script, and you have to make the comparative adjectives with the correct way according to the notes. Yes, let's listen, please.
Tape script 9.5. Comparing cities. 1.
New York is older than London.
No, it isn't. New York is much more modern. 2. Tokyo is cheaper than Bangkok.
No, it isn't. Tokyo's much more expensive.
3. Seoul is bigger than Beijing.
No, it isn't. Seoul is much smaller.
4.
Johannesburg is safer than Cape Town.
No, it isn't. It's much more dangerous. 5.
Taxi drivers in New York are better than taxi drivers in London.
No, they aren't. They're much worse.
مثل ما لاحظنا اخواني الاعزاء، الصفة الموجودة داخل الاقواس نقوم باشتقاق صفة المقارنة منها ووضعها داخل او ضمن الفراغ لتكوين جملة مقارنة بين شخصين، بين مدينتين، بين شيئين. فالغرض من هذا الاكسرسايز لبيان الكومباريسون اللي هو المقارنة. In exercise number 2, work with a partner, practice the conversation. In exercise number 1, be careful with stress and intonation. مثل ما كل وحدة اخوان الاعزاء قاعد تصادفنا الانتونيشن والستريس والانستريس، رفع وخفض الصوت ضمن مناطق في الجملة او في الكلمة. ف مثل ما اخذناها في المحاضرات السابقة. In exercise number 3, work in small groups compared to capital cities you know. So this is to practice how to make the comparative adjectives. Try to imagine or to show two cities, two countries, two persons, two things, and make a comparison by using the comparative adjectives and the correct use of the structure or the pattern of comparison. The first noun or the first subject, the auxiliary verb or the verb, the comparative adjective followed by than, and the second thing or second person which we are comparing with. So this is the structure of the pattern of the pattern of the comparative adjectives. So let's make a comparative. So as in these sentences, is bigger than, is nearer than, and you have to imagine and make a comparison between the two things or two persons or two cities that you are choosing. In the following page or the next page, person in London, we have a person here from France. I think she's a lady, yes. Listen to Chantal, I think Chantal, yes. French woman, where does she live and work, is she married? So we have to listen to this tape script, and this tape script is for the two activities or the two exercises. This is a conversation, and we have to check the tape script for both of these two exercises. Yes, let's listen please.
Tape script 9.6. A Parisian in London.
Hello, Chantal.
Hi.
Now, you're French, but you live in London, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
And are you on your own here in London?
No. I'm here with my husband, André.
Ah, okay. Do you work in London?
Yes, I do. I've got a good job. I work in a bank.
And where do you live in London? Have you got a flat?
Yes, we've got a nice flat in Camden.
Oh, great. Has Andre got a job?
Yes, he has. He's got a shop in Camden. He sells French cheese.
Wow, that's good. And tell me, have you got a car here?
No, I haven't got a car. I go everywhere on public transport. It's much easier.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy your stay here.
Yes, we have another activity or another subject to be discussed, which is the use of have got. So the use of have got, as in these exercises or in these sentences, sorry. Have you got a flat? So if you check the structure of this pattern, this words, have got, so the first is auxiliary and the second part is main verb. So when we make a question, have you got a flat? طبعا ال have got تبين الملكية لديك أو تملك. فال have you got أو I have got لبيان الملكية لشيء معين أو لصفة معينة. فخلال هذا التمرين تم استخدام ال have got. عندنا بالgrammar spot grammar spot have and have got both express possession مثل ما قلنا بيان الملكية. we use have got more in spoken English، بس الاستخدام الشائع علما للهاف got. I've a good job. Say I have got a good job. Do you have a nice flat? Have you got a nice flat? مثل ما قاعد تلاحظون الاستخدام للهاف واستخدام الهاف got. بالنسبة للهاف got تحتوي على فعل مساعد اللي هو الهاف، فعند النفي أو الاستفهام ما عندنا مشكلة، الهاف تتقدم على الفاعل بالاستفهام، وبالنفي نضيف نوت إلى الهاف، وكذلك تصرف الهاف إلى هاز مع الفاعل الغائب اللي هو الهي والشي والإت المفرد يعني. أما بالنسبة للهاف اللي تكون مجردة فقط هاف لبيان الملكية أيضا، إذا ردنا نسوي استفهام نشتق دو، وإذا ردنا دو أو داز، طبعا دو مع الفاعل الجمع والداز مع الفاعل الشخص الثالث اللي هي والشي والإت. فهنا do you have، وعند النفي she doesn't مثلا doesn't have. فإذا كانت الهاف وحيدة عند النفي أو الاستفهام نشتق دو أو داز. أما مع الهاف جوت لا، الهاف هي راح تقوم بعمل الفعل المساعد لأن هي فعل مساعد عند النفي أو الاستفهام، مثل ما قاعد نلاحظ المقارنة اللي مسويها بهاي الجملتين أو الأمثلة اللي بالحالة المثبتة والمنفية والاستفهامية. The past of have and have got is had. مثل ما تعرفون الماضي للهاف هو الهاد، كذلك الهاز هو الهاد. ففي حالة الهاف وحيدة نقول هاد، في حالة الهاف جوت تصير هاد جوت مع الماضي. إلى هنا ينتهي درسنا لهذا اليوم. نتمنى أن تكونوا قد استفدتم من الملاحظات ومن المقاطع الصوتية. حتى نلقاكم في محاضرة أخرى. شكرا لكم ولحسن إصغائكم.